Hi and welcome to my channel. I have been on vacation, so I haven't videotaped a journal in about 3 weeks, so I apologize, especially to my subscribers. So during this time frame, I went to the mall and I found this brochure at one of the vendors. So this is a marketing brochure, so it had 10 pages, and when I saw it, the cover actually was nice chipboard, and I said, look, I can make something out of it. So that's what I am going to share with you. I'm going to do a flip through. I'm not going to necessarily do a how-to video, but I am going to show you how I put this together. This had 10 pages, but I glued the inside pages together, so it's a total of 5 pages. But if you watch some of my other videos, you know that I add so many envelopes, some tucks, some extra little folders, so there's going to be a lot to this journal. But let's talk about the cover first. So you can see this layering look, and the title is called Live with Promise. This is actually paint specs. So whenever I'm painting, and let me show you what I mean. On the palette, you have all these cool colors. So what I do is I take these colors off and then I put them on a canvas. And then I thought one day I'm going to make something with it. So as you can see here, it's just this really neat design. I just think it's all about recycle, but it's also about creativity. So you have a layering look here. So you have the name of the journal. This velvet, my cousin gave this to me from an estate sale she went to. So it was like a runner, a table runner. But when I washed it, the thread wasn't that strong and it fell apart, but I was able to get all these little tiny squares. So aren't they so cute? So what you have is a good layering look. You have the name of the journal, you have this nice velvet, you have this very creative design with paint, you have some canvas, and then you actually have some paper here in the back. This is just some, like, it was really thin material, but it had adhesive, so I just put it in the back. The actual scrapbook paper I used, I had a few pages left from a pack, so you're going to probably see this design throughout. So the outside binding, I used some leather, and then I got a lot of this ribbon from Temu. So this tie, I've mentioned, if you've seen my other videos, this is actually silk ribbon. And this is probably the last of it. And I like this because it's so sturdy and it ties well and it'll just last forever. Fine, let's go ahead and do our flip through. So I'm going to open it up for the first 2 pages. I normally don't decorate the inside or the back cover, but because I only had 5 pages, I decided to add more opportunity to add photos. So on these first 2 pages, on this side, I used a lot of my embossing folders, and I colored them with some of my pens that are like metallic, so I did a little bit of a different type of coloring. And then this one, you open it up and then you have room to put a photo here. These 6x6 papers or scrap paper that I have, my sister gave me some when I was visiting her in New Mexico, so I have a lot of these. As we go through, you'll see. So I used some of this thread right here to give it, like I sewed the pages in, and then here's just a piece of scrap paper laying across, and then you open it up here. There's another place to add photos. Oh, and then you can see here, this is more of that velvet that I showed you earlier, this right here, and I just added some brads in there to give it a little tab, another little tab. And then this is just really pretty. That's a pretty little layout paper, and you can put photos there. You may notice here, 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 and here, those are some dried flowers that I got from Temu, and I just like to add them. So this is very much a mixed media journal. And then here's a camera, and that's from one of my embossing folders. And then I just had these extra pieces of just, I call it scrapbook swag, so I put it there. On this side, this is this and one other small part are the only 2 pieces of the marketing material that I kept, and it says Uncompromising Beauty. I actually designed around it. And then these sentiments, I have a few of them. I got those from Temu as well. And it says, go out and make things happen. And this one right here says, you are never too old to dream a new dream. So anyway, you could put photos there and there. Here's another embossing folder, and you can see right here I use those fluorescent paints just to highlight it, and then inside I just used some watercolor paint. And then I added this. This is like mulberry paper that's homemade and actually handmade, and I got that from Temu, and I just like the way that looks. And then here I like tabs, so I added a tab there. And then these are actually also from Temu, and they're just flowers that you can rub off. As you can notice here and here, I did add places to journal the memory. And then here I add those just so it can show, maybe you could put a photo there. So here we have 2 more embossing folders, and these are trees, different type of trees. As you can see, I use those metallic pens. You lift it up here, place to add a photo, photo, photo. And then on this side, let me lift that up again. Again, same thing, photo, photo. So I'm going to close that up. We talk about the recycle and why it's called a junk journal. This piece right here is from the candy we received, so I really like that. Let me pull this out so you can see. So this is actually the top of that candy box. So I like that a lot, and then I added some extra swag like this right here on the corner, and these are keys. And then I have these little pieces. They're really nice. They feel like material, so I put these throughout this book as well, so you're going to see those as we go through. So here, a place to journal. This is what I pulled out. So it's just another mini folder. So place to add photos there. Here's another tab. This says creativity takes courage. And then you have a place to add photos here. You open it up. There's just a really cool layout. Here's those rub off flowers. And then here's a little die cut from Temu as well. And then places to add photos. And this side, another little place to journal, place to add a photo. And this says here, follow your heart. So I'm going to put that back in here. So before I go any further, let me talk about what I did on the inside of this, and I measured it. So what I did was I folded it with my fingers. So you can see here it's like a round fold. And then I put it in here and I glued it, and then I put these papers on top. So let me see if I can bring this closer so you can see what I mean. So right here, this is where I put this piece in. I glued it in, and then I just put these on top of that. Just a nice fold. Okay, so I'm going to go back and talk about this as well. Oh, this is from one of those dry flowers I have. I probably need to secure them a little bit better, so sorry about that, but I am perfectly imperfect. So the inside of the front and the back, I use this tape. This is, I think, drywall tape, very, very strong. So similar to what I mentioned about this and how I glued it inside, I put the tape here, it's really strong, and then I put these papers on top of it. So you can see the fold is very easy. So let's go ahead and move forward. Okay, so for the next 2 pages. Okay, I made a little tuck right here. And here's another mini journal. So instead of putting this at the bottom, I put it at the top, so you can just lift it out like this. And then when you open up, you have more room to add photos. So I just did layering with my extra scrapbook swag, place to put a picture. So, like I said, you could tuck it here. And then you have another little folder. And then I sewed it here. I'm going to turn it around. So you have here a half fold. And this is actually from some tea. I took that off of the can. I just liked it. And I said, one day I'm going to use it. So that's what I mean about scrapbook swag. So I put it there, and then I did some layering with different mixed media pieces. This is a soft metal that I have. And then you can open up. And then here's more places to add pictures. And this is from the die cut. So if you wanted to color that in, you can. And then a place to journal right there. So I just did a different way of adding a little mini folder. So you could just tuck it in here. Oh, and then of course here you have some more places to add photos. And here's just some burlap in the back. I used some brads to hold that in. And then here's some of that lace, and lace, or ribbon. You could call it lace or ribbon. So we're going to tuck that back in. On this side, added some really nice ribbon. Again, I think it was a set of 6 different ribbon or lace that I got from Temu. And then here's a die cut from Temu, and I used a black embossing powder for it. Place to add the photo. Here's that mulberry paper in the back. And then right here you have a place to write or journal your memory. And then you can definitely tell this is mixed media. So there's the scrapbook paper. This is cork material. And I put picture perfect. This is just something that I had laying around. And then this is one of the dry flowers that I received. And right here you're going to see classy casual. So those are the only 2 places that I have from that marketing brochure that I kind of worked around it. And then these are little envelopes that I also received from Temu. Right here it says love letters. And then these are just price tags. And I used my extra scrapbook material and then just glued them on or Mod Podged them on. Again, this is other extra scrapbook material that I wanted to use. So it's closed. Let's open it this way. Okay, here's the paper that I got from my sister, and then you open it up. And then here's another negative from one of my die cuts, and then I just put really nice material behind it. Places to add photo. This is from one of my embossing folders, and I cut it out and I just added that little bling there. And then, so to give you an idea, like when I fold them, so I score them in half, and then I also score it probably a quarter of an inch. So then that way when I glue it right here, I can also have an opportunity to decorate this side or to add more photos. So I hope that helps with, how I add these onto the pages. And I'm going to bring this up close. Those are actually die cuts, and I just colored them in with those pens I've been referring to, and I did the same thing on this one. So very nice die cuts. And then you open it up this way. So there's so many tucks and folds and folders, so lots of room to add photos, so don't let those 5 pages discourage you. Here's another one of those small envelopes, and I use the same type of scrapbook material that I had, and it's nice, it's soft, and I didn't have very much left, so I added on this envelope and then the one we just passed, and then I sewed around here, and then you could close it. Right here it says, "Friendship is one of the sweetest joys in life." And then these are also tags. So I just Mod Podged some extra scrapbook material. So a lot of places to add memories. And this just flips up a little bit. And it says, "Follow your dreams, they know the way." And then here's that mulberry paper and just some extra swag I have laying around. And then right here is a place to journal the memory. Let's go to the next two. This one has a lot of places to add things. So this, I flipped it over on this side. So you can see right here, place to add the memory. Up here, this is a die cut. It's a flower. It's like a 2D flower. And then here's just scrapbook swag all throughout this page. Then I made a little tag to go inside. And then I found this little stamp as an indicator where to lay the photo. I really like that. So I put that on there. And then here's a cute little key with an eyelet. And then I just did a tie there. So that can go tucked in here. Here's another embossed folder. This one I glued in, so I made it more like a tuck. And then as far as this cute little journal, I just scored them and then I sewed them right here and then added this cute paper. So that way you can add photos on there. And then I'm going to tuck this in, and then I just love to add this ribbon. We're going to open it up this way. And then I just did a little collage. You can just add photos, however you want the layout. And this is actually the last page. So right here you can add definitely some photos, and then you could definitely add photos here. But here's like another mini journal. So here's the lace here at the top with the key. Actually, it's not a key, it's a swan. And this is one of those embroidery pens. And I just ordered a bunch of them from Temu, and I should be getting them in. So you're gonna probably see more of those. And then you open it up here. Had some extra scrapbook material. I put it here. That's some of that really nice burlap I have. And you can add photos on both sides. You open it up this way. And then you have another place here to add photos. And then here I just put a stamp that says "Catch Your Dream." And then you have 2 hot air balloons. And then here are 2 folders. So I want to tell you about these folders. We got a package. And I had the package, it's already scored, and I thought, oh, this is really nice. So I actually use this as one of the folders. In fact, I think I'm referencing the wrong piece. This is what I used here that we received in a package, and I just decorated it, and then I just put it right there. So I think that's what it's all about. It's a junk journal. So you're collecting all the stuff that you have through the mail, and you add them to your journal, you embellish them, and then you make it a fun just scrapbook. And right here is another one of those envelopes that I showed you earlier, the larger ones. And then right here's some of that burlap and then some leather. And then when you pull this one tab out, I had this like door lock. I thought it was so cute. And I added some brads on the tab. And then just a collage. So I'm going to tuck this back in. And that is it for this junk journal. If you have any questions on how I made something, I'll be happy to share with you. I really struggle with making how-to videos just because it took me like days in Florida to make this. And then even when I came back to Colorado, I still had to put it all together. So one day I will learn how to do a how-to from the beginning to the end. So I will definitely practice that for 2024. But in the meantime, if you're not a subscriber, please consider being a subscriber. And if you would like, and definitely add any comments, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much again, and you have a happy new year, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.